Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you guys all had a very Merry Christmas. This is a very special week for me. I love this time of the year. I love reflecting back on the year that I had as I start to plan for the year to come. And so, our topic today is reset your health and your life for 2021. How do you do that? So I want to just offer up some helpful guidelines for you to start to think about a certain way to think about your New Year's resolution. So for so long, I used to, and everybody does this too, until I learned from my coach that this is a perfect recipe for failure when you're setting up your goals for New Year's, right? New Year's resolution. And you and I both know many people fail to keep up with their New Year's resolution. So, on that note, I thought I would offer up how we have a tendency to set our goals towards the behavior that we want to do. For example, very common goal is to be healthier, to be fitter, to lose weight, right? Health is a big thing. And people then sign up for a gym or sign up for a certain diet plan or to be following a diet. You see how these are all behaviors. But more importantly, I want to teach you how you have to be certain characteristics. So it should really be an inside out approach, because when you start to formulate goals towards going towards something without really clearing and aligning that goal with the identity of who you think you are, then you're going to probably default back to what you were doing before. And so what I want to offer you is how you can think about your behavior patterns and how you have a tendency to think about you, and how you can switch the way you it's called a performance model, where instead of thinking you have to have first, and then from that place of having, then you'll do to be the person. So, for example, you might think like, if only I can have, or if I can only, I can lose the weight. If only I was fitter. If only I was younger. If only I had more money, then I would do these things to be a certain thing. That's most people think that way. But I want you to flip that model upside down to really think about from a place of being. So when I tell you from being, I want you to think about what you want to create in your life. What's your goal, the result that you want to create? Maybe it's 30 pounds lighter. So then I want you to reverse engineer to think about, who do you have to be right now? For example, if you were 30 pounds lighter, what would you have to be right now? And when I tell you about the being, I want you to think about the characteristics of who you have to be to lose 30 pounds, for example. So, some of the characteristics that I tend to hold on to is being self integral. That means you keep your own promise and you keep the word to yourself. And then second thing that comes to mind might be committed to losing the 30 pounds no matter what. And then self-discipline, discipline to do the things, right? So from a place of being self-integral, committed, and disciplined, then you can do all the things that's in alignment with how you're being. So then it's a guaranteed recipe to have the 30 pounds of weight loss. That's pretty much guaranteed. What people do most is they don't even think about the characteristics of being. They just kind of set the goals on the actions. Like, I'm going to go to the gym, and they sign up for the gym, or they sign up for a diet. They take some supplements or hire a trainer. These are all behaviors, not giving thought to how they're being. And so switching in their mind the identity of who they think they are versus what they have to do. So this is the way I want you to switch gears to think about how you have to start from a place of being to doing to have whatever it is that you want. Because let's face it, 2020 is a year that, I mean, for me, it's all about letting go. letting go of all control, letting go of being right or wrong, letting go of my need to have things a certain way. I really learned how to be really open and explore the possibilities. I really needed to pivot in a big way, especially as it relates to my business and the relationships that I had. Everything that I thought I knew, I didn't know, including this COVID virus, about the health and how it impacts people. The moment that I think I know, the very next day I would read something that completely confuses me. And as we approach the new year and new possibilities, especially with the vaccines out, even with the vaccines, I can't even tell you without a shadow of a doubt the questions that I have. And I don't even know how effective and, the efficacy and all the things. I have so many questions that I know that they just can't answer. I don't even have a body like the political system, the religious system, or even the nationalism. Everything that comes together that I used to trust so much, I no longer trust. But also, I realize we're all in this together because we all experience being what human being looks like. And through that, doesn't matter if we have resentment or guilt or shame around anything. I think these are all human experiences that we can all embrace. And if I learned anything, it's to create space for one another to be and do our best, and know that everybody else is doing their best as well, and that everybody else has their own space and time to be them. But more importantly, it was a year where I cultivated self exploration, self knowledge, and self love enough to move forward with confidence and some level of clarity. And so, my goal for next year, for you as well as for me, is to have a little clarity about what we are creating. But because one thing I know for sure is if you can't envision your future of what you're creating, you can't possibly know how to be, to do the things. And so, don't waste another year throwing spaghetti up against the wall and seeing what sticks. Really spend some time between now and the new year to think about and reflect upon how this year was and what you'd like to shift and change to move forward to have a better 2021, and do so with the intention. And really, let's reset our minds, let's reset our bodies, let's reset our emotions, let's reset our spirit, and let's reset everything that we thought we knew, and understand that there is a spectrum. But the most important work that you and I will ever do is a self exploration. We cannot be healers if we ourselves aren't whole. So I want you to commit to your own self health and self care routines and self health goals for yourself, so you can get on your own self healing journey in 2021, both inside and out. So then, only then, you can go from a place of being that epitome of health so that you can serve better and create the life and the career of your dreams, because you are the epitome and you practice what you preach. And that's what I'd like to see in 2021. I hope this message does inspire you. And I know you guys know I have a free group called Functional Yoga Medicine, as well as a podcast subscription. So head on over to iTunes, it's Functional Yoga Medicine, as well as in Instagram at Functional Yoga Medicine, as well as a free private Facebook group where we have elevated conversations with like-minded professionals and practitioners like you and me who want to do differently, and we want exponential impacts in the lives that we serve. But more importantly, we realize we need to pay attention to us. We need to be whole so that we can serve wholeheartedly. And that's the movement that we are creating together. So join me over there so we can have better conversations. And I hope you have a safe and loving holiday. And let's never forget to be present here and now and enjoy your time. Thank you so much for tuning in. I will see you guys in the new year.